Hola, buenos dias. We here for another Soulful Tunes here on Stereo. It's another mindful motivational money making Monday that we here to increase our wealth, grow and sow our way out. Y'all, I'm in the midst of a sowing moment that I feel, Maria. Since y'all, we here. My name is JoJo, also known as the Master of Manifestations, and Gizero folks to put on the platform you are on. I'm out here sewing, but give me a second. Let me get this together. Maria, in front of the calle de casa. Ah, te conozco. Sí, gracias. All right, so that's sewing right there. A man dropped his wallet in front of the house. And I walked and saw it. See, at least I walked and saw it, and not some non-sower, you know. Um, but anyway, we here for another Mindful Motivational Monday. Today's topic is when you dig through the compost and see where you have been, what do you see? That's the topic of today. I thought about this topic while talking to Sister Chocolate Gold, and it came into me in my spirit to tell y'all about it. I had completely forgot. Why do I know I completely forgot? Because I woke up and said, let me make sure I post the Soulful Tunes on today on stereo. Then I looked and it was like you already have one posted. I say I did. Sometimes when I'm looking through the compost, I forget what I done ate and what I done put in there. And it'd be just a blessing when I see a seed sprout out of there to sow into my yard or to sow into someone else. And I'm just like, did I eat that? When I eat that? Wow. A lot of my time is spent wowing myself. But before we get deeper into that, let's welcome Sister Chocolate Gold to the chat today. Peace be upon you, Sister Chocolate. Glad to have you here today with us on this mindful motivational money making Monday.
Peace and wellness. As she said, I am Chocolate Gold, minister, sower, cultivator, and more. You can find me at Virgo Sun and Soil here on Stereo. And I'm glad to be here for another Soulful Tunes. You know, this is how I get into the soul and spirit for the week. And yeah, we had this conversation about digging in that compost or digging into your things and what you discover. And so I'm glad to be here to have this conversation.
Most definitely. Now, when we think of compost, we're just going to hit this briefly. When we think of compost, what do you think about? You think of eating a piece of fruit or vegetable and throwing it into a bucket or throwing it into a pile or throwing it into a bin. And you looking for, after you do this a couple of times or however many times it is, you looking for it to be broken down into something that's usable in the future. And that vision is seen as clear, pure, functional, nutritional soil for your future plants and trees, or we gonna call it our future sow. When we sow into ourselves, it's a beauty, but when we sow into other, it's like, look at what I have created, look at what I have done, look at my energy, and now I'm giving it to you. And you want them to see the energy and light that you are in. You don't want them, when you just do it with yourself, you already know who you are. You already know where you come from. When you're digging through the compost, though, you start to say, this some rich soil. Look at the seeds that sprouted. Look at the old fruits. Sometimes when you digging through your compost, you realize a lot of the fruits and vegetable rinds and skins haven't broke down yet. Sometimes you can look through it, and I'm gonna use this as an example. When I used to eat a lot of cooked food, and I used to waste, basically I would say, I ate a whole pot of food. Half the pot I ate, the other pot I put in the fridge. Half of that I ate, and then the rest I threw into the compost because I didn't want it no more because I'm overeating, right? I wasted 25% of the cooking food that I've cooked, right? So that 25 cents was thrown into the compost. As I started getting away from cooked food and as I started getting into the mindset of more fruits and vegetables, I started seeing in my compost more fruits and vegetables being broken down faster. But as I began to dig through the compost to sow, I would see what? I would start seeing old rice, old beans, old foods still not broken down. And it was showing me myself. It was like these represent people in your life that you said I don't want to deal with no more, but they still lingering. They still lingering. They not turning into the useful soil that you need. They not sowing into you. They not sowable, but they still in the compost. But the question is, will they be broken down eventually into soil? Eventually, but how much time do you got before that happens? How many times you gonna sift the soil before that happens? Look at yourself and say, JoJo, when I used to eat a bunch of cooked food and be wasteful, I didn't have no money. When I used to be just sitting there just saying, I don't even want compost, I'm gonna go to the Home Depots or the Lowe's and buy some dirt and put it in my gardens, I was losing my money. I was trying to make my garden look beautiful, but everything I was eating was already gonna make it look beautiful, but I was throwing it in the trash. When I was looking through that, I said, yo, these remind me of people who I wasn't aware that I could utilize in a useful manner or be a utilizing asset to them. Like, think about that in a way. You can think about compost as you creating the compost and creating the soil. But think of it like this: all them seeds of past trees that have grown and sown themselves through life gave you the soil. It gave you back. If you didn't have the mentality to put all your compost ingredients together, sift through it, make sure, then the worms and the bugs come through. You done fed them and you didn't even know it, but they sifting through your soil. When you start to sift through it, you start to say, yo, they are giving back to me. The insects, mostly the worms, you can see the worms and the flies be in there. They are the ones giving themselves for you. They are the ones giving you energy back, and you don't even know it. All you say is, I'm taking what I'm eating, I'm throwing it into the bin. When you sift through the compost, you start to see how many bugs is there. When you sift through it, my favorite thing is to find the worms. When I find them big earthworms in it, the bigger the better it make me feel, because I know that I've sustained somebody with what I had, and they are profiting from it. And there's not even a money exchange from the profit. Their life is their profit. I'm profiting because my soil is being broke down faster, but they're profiting because it's nutritional for them, whatever I'm putting in the soil, to extend their life and increase their life. When I'm digging through the soil to take that soil after it's become compost and I'm putting it on my crops, I know for a fact, based on the amount of insects, the color it is, the consistency it is, the softness it is, the ability to be sifted through it is, that when I give to my plants, it's gonna be abundance. I know for a fact that once I've done it and I'm giving that plant to somebody, when they soil mix with my soil, wherever they planted, it's going to do what? Give they soil something that's missing. It's going to give them insects that the soil is planted something that's missing. This is what we're working on. We sifting through the compost of our life. Who around you is the compost? Who have you let go and you put to the side and you said, I no longer need that product, brand, or service, but I did utilize and it was good for what I had it for, but I no longer need it. Let me just put that to the side. And when you finally say, let me start clearing out old things, you digging through your compost to start anew, and you look back at it and you say, you know what, I came far. I've come so far, so fast, or so slow, or however the distance and time it may be. You can see the level in which you changed. You can see the level in which you grew. You can see the level in which you decided to let go. When you can be able to see the level, what do you see? Is it just unbroken down stuff? Are you still waiting on the soil to be created? Do you see the journey of the compost? Do you even see worms and insects? Do you see it? If you can't see it, then you already messing up. Why? Because for you, it's like, I don't really see any growth. If you can't see growth in your compost, how do you expect to use the compost to grow the soil and the seeds that you wish to sow? What's your thoughts on that, Sister Chocolate? I know it's a lot to comprehend for some, but I know you got it, because it's an understanding of the time frame in which we grow.
Yes, indeed. And so, well, let me start with self, right? Because um, I talk about soil and soil regeneration, understanding that things need to be put back into soil, especially when it has been being overused and it hasn't had the right type of compost added to it, the right type of nutrients, or things are being stripped from it because of whether it's use or it's pesticides or whatever the case may be. But when I look at it as an understanding of self, right, it reminds me of the journey of life, the things that we go through, right? As we go through life, there are some things that we, put into our soil or our toolkit, because I'm always talking about the tools that we need, right? It's always these things that we put into it to make our lives better, but we also got to think about the things that we need to take out, the things that aren't good as well, to get to a better space, to get onto a journey that's more aligned with what we want to be or where we want to go. And so, as I look at myself and making sure that I'm paying attention to those things, the good things that I need to add more into my life, and the bad things, the things that need to be taken away or need to be, reviewed or revised or remodified so that I can gain a bigger harvest. So that's where I'm at with self, really finding the right alchemy for the soil as I continue to sow seeds. On another level, though, when we're talking about things that or people or connections or things like that. I've been talking about this probably for over a month about cleaning out energies and cleaning out things and people that are not really serving your purpose or that you have seen aren't good for you. And so, as I've been expanding, going to my next level, one of the things that I've been looking at is like my different social medias and the things that I've been sharing. And in these things that I've been sharing, I've been saying to myself, I want to grow this platform. I want to continue to add to this. So when people come to this, I want them to see this. I want this to be the energy that they pick up from it. I want this to be what they get from this platform. And so as I'm doing that, I'm looking back at the things that I have already posted. And so I've been really scrubbing my social medias of things that I no longer, align with thought patterns or posts that I've made that, you know, are from a time when I was in a different mindset, right? People and networks and things like that that I was connected with, affiliate marketing programs, all these different things that I was affiliated with at one point. And I just talked about this last week about coming into that focus of what you're actually going to be doing. And so scrubbing everything outside of that focus has been a real job because as I'm digging into my social media and the things that I've been posting and the connections that I've made, I'm realizing like there are bad energies here. There are dead seeds here. There ain't nothing else that could be done for this thing or for these people. These seeds are dead. They have proven themselves to be dead. The soil has proven itself to be dried up and lacking the nutrition and the nourishment that it needs. And so that's where I've been at with that, just looking at things and making sure that the things that have already proven themselves dead, the things that have already proven themselves not to be growing, scrubbing and removing those things from my platform so that when people really want to get to know me, they don't see all these dead seeds, but they see all the seeds that grew into something beautiful. They see all the harvest that was created from all of the wisdom and all of the things that I shared instead of seeing the lack or the dead seeds or the dried up soil or the people who I was promoting that don't promote me or the affiliate programs that aren't doing so well or that I'm done with or that aren't moving in a righteous way that go against my integrity. So that's where I'm at with that. Like just scrubbing all these things away because We have to make room for things that are better for us, things that are more in alignment with us at the time and space that we're in. We all came from a place where it was a darker space, right? We had a certain mindset. And so, even making sure that the mindset isn't carried over as well, and certain things in the mindset is scrubbed away so that the growth can really be seen. And I really look at my growth, that is a part of my self care, looking at the stuff that I have gone through, the things that I've done, and looking at that progress and this journey that I've made and where I am now. Like, I haven't talked about it, my content creation, in a while, but even as I've been looking back and scrubbing certain things off, I can tell there's such a huge difference in the way I create content. There's such a huge difference from my flyers 3 years ago, from my flyers today, my posts 10 years ago, from my posts today. Like, there's so much difference, and we really do got to look at that too. We got to look at where you have been and what you have gone through to get to this level and where you at. Those things, that wisdom, those experiences, those things that you did to push yourself or propel yourself forward will help you as you continue to move forward or move up or become more successful or become more wealthy or become more well.
All praises to that awareness and energy and that thought pattern that you went through to get to this understanding. But I feel you on all of that. I 100% believe it. You know how I like to sift into my compost. Sometimes I like to dig through it and sift it around because sometimes you just need a little bit of oxygen inside compost. The compost I'm speaking of at this point is my pot of Facebook. Y'all, I like to come and tell y'all some truths and humble y'all sometimes. I also like to show y'all selves all the time. And I made a post that asked y'all a few questions. Why do y'all give to things that don't matter to you, that don't give at you in any way, but ignore that which do? That's a question I want all y'all to pull into yourselves this week. What are you doing? What have you given your energy, your time, yourself, your awareness, your attention to that ain't giving not a dime back to you? Just a mere small amount of entertainment, just a moment of satisfaction. A bag of chips is only for 15 seconds of happiness. A piece of candy is only 15 seconds of happiness. It give you diabetes, cholesterol problems. It give you intestinal baggage. It give you it put compost inside your body. I like to call y'all, a lot of y'all call it feces or shit or poop, whatever you call it. I call it food memories. It give you food memories, and the memories get locked up inside your body to where you can't release them and let them go in any way. When you eating stuff like that, it give you a bunch of food memories that you don't need no more, slowing you down. Y'all go to the strip club. These women and men don't care about you, but you spending all your dollars on them, giving, and then a lot of y'all don't even spend dollars because you like them. You're spending dollars because around you the energy is spend the dollars. So you looking around, you see people handing dollar bills. What you gonna do? Hand dollar bills. How many of you can walk in the casino with $5 and say I'm only spending $5? You spend the $5, but as soon as you get in there, you start seeing people say jackpot. Hey, you hear the ding ding ding, and you throw into the ATM talking about I said $5, but let me go and pull out 5 more, 10 more, 10, 30 more, 100 more. I done sold my house. This is what I wanna bring awareness to y'all this week. How much of the things you doing in your life got you sifting through yourself and giving to others that don't give back to you? It's like the rice and the compost. You put in fruits and vegetables, but when you're sifting through it, you see the rice is still there. You see the frijoles or the beans still there. And even if you scooped it out and you put it on your plants, it's still not gonna do that plant no good because it wasn't broken down in the compost. It's not gonna be broken down under that plant. It's gonna be rice sitting on top of the compost. It's gonna be rice sitting on top of the plant soil. You see what I'm saying? And y'all, it's like how y'all spend money. The rice is how y'all spend money on things that's not good for you. The rice is how you feel about your increase. Is it useful? Is it gonna bring abundance to you? Are you the rice to somebody else's compost? Sometimes we gotta look at that. Are you the rice? All praises. Listen, listen. Let me tell y'all about that. So y'all know how we started out Sowful Tunes, and I said I found somebody wallet in the street. Turns out it's the brother of Uber, the person that lived here. His cousin or no, wait, she said his primo. Primo means his cousin. His cousin wallet. You see what I'm saying? Full circle. I was sewing and I said, the spirit was like, just give it to Maria. She know what to do with it. I gave it to Maria. And that sewing spirit was given to somebody I hold close and dear to my heart over here. Understand that cycle. Understand how much he had to go and spend to replace that if somebody else seen it, grabbed it, and didn't care. Is a beautiful thing, y'all, when you can have a sowing spirit. And the first thing you see is, how can I help them get this back? How can I help? How can I give? It is so much. I don't even know what that harvest is going to look like in the future. I'm not even thinking of it. The harvest wasn't what was on my mind. I just went to the river. Literally, I got from my workout session and I went, mind you, these like my fruits and vegetable scraps. My fruits and vegetable scraps in this instance was me going to my student's house on earlier to go work out with her. I went there and then I had a little bit more time to go to the river real quick. I was like, I don't want to go to the river. And the spirit was like, go to the river now. I go to the river. I wash my locks in the river water. I do my thankful ritual and I come on back. After when I went to the river, I seen some river melons growing. I said hi to my trees that I planted. And then I came back. And when I came back, I saw on the ground this man's wallet. You wouldn't see his wallet if you didn't know it, because in y'all mind, y'all thinking of a leather wallet and stuff. No, no, no. It's just a little Ziploc bag with his ID and his insurance card and all that. You feel me? These are things that it costs a lot for these people to get back because they got to go through paperwork and they barely got vehicles and the cash extra to do it. So if he didn't find it, he would be sad. It would take him back a lot, right? So when I pick it up, I picked it up. If I wouldn't have done all them things, who knows who would have picked it up? You see what I'm saying? So many people walking, not a lot of people driving, so it was easy to be seen. So I picked it up and the spirit said, give it to Maria. And I gave it to Maria and she came and said that his cousin was the one who lost it. So it's somebody we knew. It wasn't just some stranger. It was somebody we know that will actually benefit from what we know and what we have to offer them, which is their ID wallet, right? That's a full circle soul right there. I didn't even have to sow like that. Wasn't in my mind. That's a future harvest that the Lord positioned me for. I don't even know what the harvest looked like, but the Lord put me in position to receive. A lot of times we don't know what position we need to be in to receive. I could have not went on time to my students. I mean, I could have not went early to my student workout session. I could have went on time, but I chose to go at a different time because I was following the spirit. When the spirit tell you to do something, you must be obedient. Example, when a lady came to my gate, she was getting some food from Maria, and I was sitting there and I was like, yo, the spirit was like, give her some of that them lentils and rice you made. I was like, yeah, he said, you don't need all that because Maria gave you some tamales. I was like, you right, you right. And I was like, nah, she be yelling at Maria. She be yelling at my friends and stuff, being greedy and shit. Nah. And the spirit didn't say anything else. It only told me that one. But then self, which I call the mind of the body. You got the mind, body, soul, and spirit. My soul was talking to my body and it said, get up and do what the Lord said do. You over here worried about you don't want to do it for this, that, and the other, but the Lord told you what to do, and you talking about what? Get up right now and do it. I was like, dang, you right. You right. Who am I to question what the Lord want me to do? And I got up and I fixed the plate and I gave it to her. When I was walking up to the lady, she was asking Maria, do you have any rice to go with the tamales? And Maria say, nah, because she was doing good to get even them tamales. Old ungrateful ass. But I was already walking up to her with the rice. She already don't like me. That's the funny part. This woman can't stand me because every time she's in a situation that somebody tell her about herself in a way that says, ma'am, you ungrateful. I don't like how you treat me. Whenever she gets some type of moment like that, I'm always around. I'm always around to see it. I'm always around to hear it. I don't know why it's like that, but I'm always around. And so this particular moment, I was around, but I was walking to her to give her something. She'd been walking past me for days since my student told her no about some olives. She'd been cussing me out in Spanish, thinking I don't know Spanish, but I know Spanish well enough to know when you cussing a person out. I laugh about it because she don't understand my energy. A person that's sowing level is low can never affect somebody whose sowing level is high, because a high level sower already know they harvest. You feel me? So I pass her, I laugh because I'm not struggling like that. She's struggling like that. So for me, I don't have to think on it. But I gave her the rice anyway, knowing the type of person she was. I don't even know what that harvest is, but I know that the Lord heard me when I was obedient. That's what I do know. Because the Lord only spoke to me once and told me to do it. He didn't come back and be like, I told you. Didn't you remember what I told you? My God don't work like that. He tell you once and it's a wrap. You choose to harvest or sow. It's up to you. So for me, I went over there and I done these stoves for the week. And y'all know what time it is. It's middle of the week of the month. I'm working on what? Rent. How am I gonna get rent this month? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even thinking about how I'm gonna get it. I know that when the Lord tell me to do something, though, I gotta be obedient and do it, because that's where my help come from. And so finding this wallet on the ground, finding money on the ground, and picking it up is a metaphor that my daddy always gave me. He said, there is money on the ground. Might as well be you to pick it up. He said, there's money on the ground. Go pick it up. He said, look on the ground, there come your money. He would always tell me these type things as we would work, because we was a landscaper. And I was like, I would always think he was just talking about the yards, the grass. But as I'm growing up, I'm starting to see he was like, the ground grow the money. On the ground, somebody dropped the money. On the ground, you done dropped some money. You see what I'm saying? On the ground come your help, because from the ground is the mercy, and comes from the mercy and the grace of the Most High. The shade of the tree is like the mercy of the Lord. The wind is like the grace. So when you see a tree and you say it's super high and you go sit under it, it's like the Lord having mercy upon you at that one instant, in that moment. The grace is you sitting there and you saying, Lord, I thank you. And all of a sudden the wind blow upon you and it feel great. That's the grace of the Lord. You grazed and you have grace. You see what I'm saying? So summing this up, y'all. Sowing is the only way at the end of the day. Sister Chocolate, what you got to say?
I agree with you with that on that because a lot of times we so focused on things that don't matter. Like even like with phones and stuff, we walk around and we looking down at our phones and we really ain't paying attention to our surroundings. So I love that saying that he was saying to you, like there's money on the ground, because a lot of times you can't see opportunities because you so focused on one thing, you ain't really paying attention to what's around you. You can't really see the things that you have to be grateful for because you ain't looking around, you ain't paying attention. So I love that. And yeah, you gotta, man, when you know that you need to do something, or when the spirit speaks to you to do something, you need to do it. You need to get it done, because everything that you do is some type of work or some type of sow for a harvest in the future. So make sure y'all getting those things done, and make sure y'all are aware of the opportunities and what's going on in your environment. Pay attention.
That's right. Because when you pay in attention, something in others around you, the Lord pays attention to you. I always, in my thankfulness rituals and my thankful prayers that I send up to the Lord during the time of eating, sleeping, or whenever I feel the need to give thanks, I always add, since I don't know, maybe like the past 3 or 4 months, I've been adding this into my thanks. Thank you, Lord, for keeping me in your prayer. Thank you for praying for me. And for me, that's like paying in attention, but paying in energy, time, and recognition. Because to recognize somebody is a high form of praise. When you recognize something somebody is doing, you can change everything. because I can be doing something and I'm doing it just to be a sower. But when somebody stop and say, I see what you're doing, I like what you're doing, that right there changed my whole day. Because I'm thinking nobody paying attention, but I'm still going to do it. When you can recognize what the Lord is doing for you, stop, fly. The Lord, the Lord give unto you more attention. Ain't nothing better than the Lord giving you attention, yo. And you can say, Jojo, God the Lord, blah, blah, blah. But listen. When it comes to the days when you in need and there's nobody around you and your needs are fulfilled, who do you think is fulfilling them needs that nobody but you know about? You may say, I did it because I walked over there. But when you walked over there and saw whatever you saw that helped you get to your needs fulfillment level, who placed it there? Who provided it? Who positioned you? Who gave you the position? Who provided and made the position for you to be in position? That's what the God I'm talking about. That which creates the position for you to receive, and what you received is placed in the hearts of those that came before you to get it to the receptivity level of your heart, your mind, body, and soul. And when you in the right position to receive, you start to ask yourself things like, who do I thank? And then you don't know exactly who you think. You just throw it out there. That's what prayer and giving thanks and affirmations, all that stuff is surrounded by this energy. You putting yourself out there and saying, wherever this energy I'm giving thanks and recognition to lands, let it land there in the path of that which was helping me to get the increase. I like to give the Lord recognition all the time. I like to give the Lord recognition and thanks and gratitude for the grace and mercy that it gives me, for the attention that it pays me. And if it didn't pay me no attention, would it know when to give me grace and mercy? How would it know when to make sure abundance was near? How does it know when a position? Let me tell y'all about something. I'm making a video to break down this understanding, but I'm going to give it to y'all here on Sowful Tunes. I made a video about planting 5 trees on the riverside. After I planted these 5 trees, I noticed other people was planting where I was. And I was like, Lord, I'm not the only one sowing. Somebody else is out here sowing, Lord. All praises to them. But what I was doing, I was just walking around my 5 trees, picking random spots that I felt was good spots. After I finished the random spots, I looked back at each spot, and the Lord came to me in understanding. He said, each spot represents life. I want you to go to first, and he named them all Thessalonians. I don't know why the word Thessalonians was the name for all of the seeds. There's 5 mango plants. He named the first Thessalonians, second Thessalonians, third Thessalonians, fourth Thessalonians, and fifth Thessalonians. And I was like, why they name Thessalonians? He said, don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm gonna tell you about something. He said, First Thessalonians, he's on the street where the main street road is, right? Everybody see him, but nobody see him because they've seen it. They see that side of the road all the time, so they don't really care. But next to him is a swamp because nobody cares. A swamp there. They built a wall to stop the river because the river was taking the road and it turned into a swamp. But First Thessalonians sits there. First Thessalonians is struggling though because he's next to turmoil and lack of attention. Some of us is in the spirit of First Thessalonians. We struggling because we have lack of attention, but we have everything we need. It, people still see us, but we struggling through lack. I said, okay, where's Second Thessalonians? Second Thessalonians was placed around the corner where there was abundance and growth. I mean, that's where I found some plantains, some bananas was growing, some papayas was growing. I said, yeah, let me put a mango tree up in there. And the Lord said, this is a representation of people who are coming up in abundance and increase. He said, but let me show you something about this one. You need to go and cut around to make sure it can be seen, because so many times a person can be placed in increase in abundance, but so much is already abundance that it is overlooked and you're not able to see it, and therefore they will just go through when they're cleaning out the debris, accidentally cut you and knock you down and cut you off and stop you from your growth, because not that they wanted to, but just because they couldn't see you, because everything is abundant, everything is growing, everything is nutrified. I was like, Lord have mercy. So I went over there and I cut it out to make sure somebody could see. Third Thessalonians is right there at the corner, the entrance of the river. Everybody see Third Thessalonians. When Third Thessalonians grow, everybody gonna see. But so much attention gonna mean when it grow to harvest time, it's gonna be plucked dramatically. It'll always be plucked up. You see what I'm saying? Everything gonna see it. Everything gonna give it attention. But they gonna leave the spirit of caring that is there. They gonna get used to it being there. They gonna stop feel like it. Oh my God, it's great because everybody see it. They not gonna, you know what I'm saying? They gonna start using it. Fourth Thessalonians, he up a little bit. But where he is hot. There ain't no nothing growing where he at. He's just isolated by himself, and that which growing around him is like we growing, but we struggling. We gonna be strong though. But Fourth Thessalonians, he the only one growing yellow leaves because he's hot. He actually overlooks the swamp on the other side of First Thessalonians. First Thessalonians and Fourth Thessalonians both are on opposite ends of the swamp. One is seen and one is not seen. One might make it and the other one might not make it. I told Fourth, if you don't make it, I'm gonna replace you with a coconut tree. So he can be the fourth replacement. And I said, that's just what it is. So I go out there and I talk to him all the time. And I tell him, I let them know, peace be upon you. I'm still here with y'all. I'm gonna tell each one of them some nice nutritional soil. They struggling because they were grown in composted soil that was organic and nurtured, and they was given love abundantly. And then when I took them to other places that they was going to end up growing, it lacked that which they was used in. That's like having a baby whose mama supplied them with the milk, shelter, food, and all that, and then they sent them out in the world, and the world wasn't caring about where they came from, how they was taken care of. That's what I did to them. So now as a mother, I got to go and scoop some organic soil for them, and give them some, give them their treats. Fifth Thessalonians is next to the river. Fifth Thessalonians is going to be all right because he's shaded by other trees. He's also in a spot where animals grow and increase their livelihood. But he's also in a spot where they park. They're not going to run him over, but they park a lot. The only reason nobody going to bother him is because he's grown in a bunch of thorns. So he's in a position that nobody can reach him, but he gonna grow and be abundant. He's in the midst of he's in the midst of accidents, but ain't nobody gonna touch him. Some of y'all is like that. Y'all in the midst, say y'all in the hood, but the Lord covers you with his anointings that nobody come rob you, nobody come stab you, but you still in the hood. You still in a lower vibrational place, but nobody can bring you down because the Lord got better plans for you. This is where Fifth Thessalonians sit. Each one represents different versions of life. Every time I go to the river, I go and greet them all and make sure they all okay. Because the Lord is showing me himself. Every time I see Fourth Thessalonians out there though, the Fourth Thessalonian, man, that baby out there, he be struggling, but there ain't nothing I can do about it. It gonna make him stronger. I can only give him the motivation to thrive. I can only go out there and give him a couple of pieces of organic soils now and again, but that's where he gonna grow if he gonna finish growing. You see what I'm saying? This is life. And after I see these things around me that tells me and ministers to me, I don't got no preacher that's ministering to me. The closest I got is Prophet Joshua Holmes, and he just teaching me about sowing and deepening my soul. But when it comes to deepening and increasing in my life, as it is, the Spirit of the Lord is my preacher. He my teacher. He my confidant. And it seemed to me through his secretary that I call nature. And nature give me all of which the Lord wants me to hear and see, because he don't always got time to show himself to me and give me what I'm in need to have to be able to be in position. He give me the word. And if I have the ears and the sight to listen and see, then that's it. But he ain't got time to be babying me. Like I can't keep going to Fourth Thessalonians babying him. He got to get in the struggle. He can, when he start to grow up, he can see his brother on the other end. They both know the struggle, but at the same time, they not in the same area. What you got to say about that, Sister Chocolate? That was a story of the sowing story of the day.
Yes, indeed. Beautiful. It's a beautiful story. And it's always good to look up and see other people sewing and doing something. You know what I mean? especially something that's in line with what you're doing or something that you like to see or the things that you like to put your focus in. Because, a lot of times you don't find people who on that same journey and expressing it in a way that you can see it and take something for it, or even you can see it and acknowledge it for what it is. Sometimes it's hard to see these people because of algorithms and different things like that. But it's amazing when you are able to find people that are doing things um, that are similar to what you're doing, but in their own way with the tools that they have to do it with. So that's amazing. And then, you know, what you were saying about, you listening and you paying attention and you doing the things that you are being called to do or that spirit is showing you. I love that because, we look outside ourselves for so many different things. We're always looking for someone to tell us something, someone to teach us something, someone to, look to for advice or look to for entertainment or look to for whatever the case may be. And a lot of times we don't look within to see what's there. We don't listen to, the higher self and that quiet mind. We don't listen to what our creator is telling us to do. We don't listen to these things. We listen to the things on the outside that make the biggest noise. And so the biggest thing that you can do for yourself while you digging through your compost or digging through your shit and looking at what you have created or what your journey is looking like, where you want to be. The best thing that you could do for yourself is look within. Listen to your own higher self. Listen to your own creator. Listen to your own mentors, the people that are around you in your life that you see are doing things that are good. Don't be jealous of them and don't copycat them, but take what you can for them so that help you on your journey.
Yes, well put. And we're gonna just leave them off at that, y'all. Create your own. Be your own. Sow into yourself. Sow into others. You can only sow into others after you sown into yourself. Because if you're just out there giving, giving, giving to others, you start to realize that you can't sow. Okay? You can't sow when you in nothing. So therefore, guess what? You can't be a sower if you're not balanced and giving and receiving and taking and reaping. So let's leave y'all at that point. Today's topic was when you dig through the compost and see where you have been. Hopefully, you guys have listened to this. If you haven't listened to this and join us catching the replay later, and if you haven't caught the replay, well, I hope you can join us again for Soulful Tunes here on Stereo. We're here every Monday at 11:11 a.m. Central Time, and we will continue to be here until we choose otherwise. So peace be upon y'all. Sister Chocolate, let the people know what they can do in order to reach you and learn more, and tell them what you got going on.
Yes, indeed. Again, I'm Chocolate Gold. And you can find me here on Stereo at Virgo Sun and Soil, as you can see on my handle. Well, the best way to get in contact with me is to follow me on Telegram at Cultivator Gold, because that's where I'm really posting everything that I am doing. Tomorrow is Tuesday. We will have a productivity tools meeting on Telegram. Last week we talked about Mighty Networks. I'm going to do another overview of Mighty Networks. This one is going to just be focused on the things that you can still do inside the network for free. I have an update for the Evernote app that I had talked about previously. We'll talk about that tomorrow as well. That'll be at 2. And then on Wednesday, I'll be here for Words of Wellness at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. On Thursday, I'll be here for our Thick and Cap Thought at 3. And then, of course, I'll be here on Friday for Financial Freedom Friday, a conversation that uplifts nature and nations. Until then, y'all keep sowing and growing and be well.
All praises for that. And I'll be with you on Financial Freedom Friday at 5 p.m. Central Time here on Stereo. Y'all, I want y'all to know about the Forest Restoration Conservation Act. It's still in place. We still sowing and growing. How you gonna find out more information about that? Click the link here on my Stereo profile or the link above my head. If you want to learn more about how you can be a better sower, same thing, link above my head. If you feel like you would like to have help in your sowing level in any means necessary that it is in, again, click the link here above my head. Send me a message here on Stereo. Be like, JoJo, I heard about sewing it on Sowful Tunes. I want to actually increase in more knowledge about it. If you seeking help in any way, I don't know what the help is you're trying to seek, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if you don't know what type of help you need, nobody can help you. That's just what it is. So find out what type of help you need. Be grounded in that, and then reach out to people like me or Sister Chocolate Gold here, and we can help you get to be in a successful level. I don't know what you need, but I do got tools. She does got solutions for all the things that you guys need in life. Because the power of sewing is that it's not just for one person. It's not just for one race. It's not for one type of age group. It's for everybody, from insects to bugs, from babies to grown-ups. Sewing is the way of life for all things around us, for all beings around us. Being a better soul is how you want to be. Being better in all things that you do is the goal. And until then, yo, my name is JoJo, also known as the Master of Manifestations, and gives the road fucks depending on the platform you are on. Y'all, I want y'all to sow on and so forth. See y'all next time.
Peace.